Well, welcome everybody. It is Thursday night, and we are here at the Apex Sim Racing E-Series Showdown, brought to you by Apex Sim Racing Custom Gear, ApexSimRacing.com. Go check them out. If you need any kind of custom gear for your rig, they got everything you're going to need. Well, we're here at the end of the regular season final race here tonight, and it's at Richmond Raceway, 150 laps. We're going to set our final 16 of this playoff run, and pretty much everybody that showed up the last for the majority of the season is going to be in that. So not really anything to talk about as far as playoff cutoff. We'll get some of that as we get through these playoff races, but already getting this thing ready to roll. We're at Richmond Raceway, 3/4 of a mile track. We all know Richmond very, very well. Could make for some tough racing here tonight. Only 11 folks though, so should be able to get this thing done pretty cleanly. But Richmond very, very difficult to make moves, make passes. But the truck, I think, puts on a pretty good show here. So I think tonight we've got a pretty good opportunity to see that. Let's take a look at your grid. Everybody out on track now, and let's see who is going to start on the front row and, of course, take home Chuck Pegleg Pole Award. Michael Costin, there, the number 4. He's going to show up tonight and take the pole. And outside of front row is going to be Derek Hinder. Row number 2 is going to be the man of the season, Jonathan Cofield, who is going to start in the 3rd position, not racing in his normal rig. The rig's all put up this week, so he's racing on a monitor. He normally races in VR, so we'll see how that plays out for him. And Tracy Passon, he's racing on his normal rig. We'll see if he can get a win here tonight. Very close last week, but needs to get a win before these playoffs start. 5th, Jesse Whittington. I don't think he's eligible for the playoffs. We'll see if we can get NASCAR to give him a waiver, because he's been pretty strong. He's actually inside the top 16 as it sits. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think he's 1 race short of eligibility. Chuck Felt's going to start in the 6th position. In 7th is going to be Daniel Holcroft, Alan Smith in 8th. 9th, Josh Lokovitz 10th, Matt Rogers, and Anthony Edgerton. Going to round out your Low-Catch Motorsports starting grid. Well, we'll go around one more time. Let's take a look at your race analysis. 150 laps here tonight. You got your 4 tire sets available in the pits, 3 green and white checkered attempts, 75% fuel that will change the handling just a slight bit. Make these things a little bit tighter. You're going to have to roll the center a little bit longer, or you risk burning up that right front. And then stage on lap 40. Got any kind of playoff hopes, you better get those playoff points. And, top 5 in this league get playoff points. So it actually makes it a little bit interesting here. So even though we only got 11 drivers, those top 5 spots are the only ones paying. So, all right. Michael Costa going to lead us down through 3 and 4. The pace car should pull off right here, and we'll get this thing going. 150 laps here in Richmond. Who's going to take the checkered flag? We're going to find out here. Green flag is out here at Richmond in Apex E-Series Showdown. Oh, and Josh Lokovitz immediately goes around cold tires, and that should bring out a caution. He spins back out on track. No caution yet. Going to get it spun back around, and Josh Lokovitz goes around on lap number 1. No caution. We stay green. So not a great start for Lokovitz. Those cold tires getting him early. Let's take a look at your track. 88 degrees. That is cool track. Very weird temperatures here. That got all the grip that you're going to want. I think it's going to make it pretty tight once the tires get up to temp. But I think the big question tonight is who's going to get this win. Cofield, can he get win? I believe number 10 on the season, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say. I want to say he does have. Let me look at it real quick. I want to make sure. Yeah, he's got 9 wins on the season, and he is looking to take win number 10. How about that? That is a dominant season. That is Kyle Larson in 2021 dominant. We love to see those type of seasons, and he's honestly been pretty lights out in these trucks. But got a different setup here tonight, and you see him bounce it off the wall. And I got to say, once you're so used to racing a certain way, you're so used to your rig that you race on every single week, and then you change it up wholesale. I mean, just everything's different. The computer's different. The steering wheel may be different. He's gonna blink out here. Look at it. Oh my goodness, parts flying everywhere as his internet just crapping out on him. But everything's different. And when that happens, man, it sure is hard to race like you're used to. You're really having to try to adapt during the race, not running at 100%. So it's going to be a tough deal for him to win the race. But if anybody can get new equipment and have a race on a completely different computer and win, Jonathan Cofield is that fella. But right now, it's all Garrett Kinder. Like Caustic, they run 1-2 here on lap 6. Caustic looking a little racy. Kinder was able to get that lead on the initial start. Caustic rolling down. I mean, Richmond's it's a fun track to drive. I think it's fun. It's just so hard to pass. That's the difficult part here is finding ways to pass folks. And you can see Caustic you have to roll for so long, and Kinder will actually invite him, say, hey, go ahead, go down to the bottom. That's totally fine. I'll just wrap the top. You won't be able to stop me. So that's the tough part about Richmond. You have to roll the corner for so long, get back on the gas right about there, honestly. So fun to drive. Once you get into a rhythm, it's a lot of fun, but it takes a while for that to happen. If you do get in a rhythm, though, you can definitely pull away if you got out front. Very difficult to pass. So fun track. It's going to be tough for these guys to make passes and really make up positions. But you see, Caustic enters in high in 1 and 2 and actually gets a pretty great run off the 2. Try that again, maybe in 3 and 4. Might have something going on here, but he is all over the back bumper of Garrett Kinder. Kinder just taking it easy up there. You see Jesse Whittington get into the wall just a little bit off that corner, makes a little bit of contact. These trucks are pretty stout, so you can make a little bit of contact with the wall. It used to not be the case. Gosh, you'd make a little bit of contact with the right front, the left front, the left rear would just fall off. But Jesse kind of hang on to this little pack of 4 cars that have really pulled away from the rest of the pack. Josh Lokovitz, he is about half a lap down at the moment. Just hoping to stay on the lead lap for that stage. Of course, if he does go a lap down, he will get the lucky dog at stage break, but he does not want to go a couple laps down, that's for sure. But I don't think he's in danger of doing that 40 laps. So just got to keep the truck together, keep going in the right direction. If he can stay on the lead lap, that would be preferable, but he's not out of it regardless. Good thing about those stages, we always talk mess about stages, but in iRacing, stages give you an opportunity to make a mistake and be able to recover from it. That's always nice. In these smaller fields, you see a lot of green flag racing, and it can be very difficult. Well, one more little time, and tomorrow night it's going to be the race night. So if you are not signed up for the V-Speed Invitational and you want to, it's a $15 entry. I mean, you win the whole thing, you get $200 and something. It's a pretty cool little deal there. Just all of the leagues that V-Speed broadcasts, that's including Apex and all the other ones that they broadcast. Everybody is invited to be a part of it. It's going to be broadcasted on V-Speed. Definitely a cool little deal if you're interested in that. You're not busy the next couple nights. It's going to be a pretty fun little series if you're into that sort of thing. The idea of driving an Xfinity car on Lime Rock sounds terrible, honestly. I looked at the schedule and I saw Lime Rock and I said, yeah, there's no way I'm doing. If they have 40 cars out there on Lime Rock in the Xfinity car, you're talking about it'll be a spectacle to watch. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to be a part of it because that's going to be crazy. So can't wait to see that. If you're not going to race, definitely tune in. It's going to be entertaining for sure. 2 nights of racing. Pretty cool little deal that Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper putting on. Caustic still trying to put in work here. Just can't get around the 13 as it crossover into lap 17 out of 150. The race to lap 40 is on. And we'll see as we get into lap 2025 who has saved enough tire. And this track really doesn't tear up the tires as much. So, saving, especially a track this cool, your right front sort of the one thing you might worry about the most, but you roll the center so much that even if you start to burn the right front off, if you can roll the center just fine, it's going to be difficult to make a pass. So, Steve Kostick really doing the best he can to stay right on the bumper of the 13. I just don't know how he's going to make the pass, and I want to see him try for sure, but I don't think it's going to be very easy. I think that's one negative about Richmond. You see him searching all over the track, trying to enter in high, come off low. Both trucks there get a little bit out of shape. But if he does get down to the inside, he'll have to take a little dive at it, and I think Ender will be able to defend on the outside of Richmond. It's really, really strong. You actually see both of them entering in high, sort of in the middle lane in the middle, and then drive off the bottom. Turn two, just to get the best run they can off the corner for the backstretch. You carry so much speed into the corner. Even though you're rolling, you want to make sure you have maximum speed and not having to rely on the brake too much and just roll the center. Right now, Garrett Cantor starting to pull away now as Austin tried a couple attempts to get close enough to get to the inside, just cannot do it at the moment. Well, we got Chuck Feltz on the driver cam tonight. We're at daytime in Richmond, so sun's out, guns out for Chuck. And he is currently running in the 7th spot. He dropped the spot early to Daniel Holcroft, but currently hanging on to the biggest mover of the race, Matt Rogers, right behind him. These guys are running very similar lap times. Chuck ran a 22.9. The leader's running a 22.8. So he's definitely right in the ballpark. Just maybe consistency is where Chuck is kind of losing out on. Of course, his best lap a bit slower than the ones up front, so he's not running full bore to start with. That may be why he has lost about 6 seconds to your leader at the moment. But still a long way to go. Chuck's got great opportunities to try to make up some spots, get in the top 5. A top 5 tonight would be pretty awesome. Yeah. Up here, Tracy Passon's trying to make a little move here on Cofield. He's been close for a while, but we've already seen him get really, really loose. We'll go on board with him as we watch how he's trying to make it happen, and it's just leaning on that right rear. And that works good for a while, but that's going to eventually bite you. You can really try it 1 or 2 times before it becomes an issue, and you'll see as he's coming off the corner. Saw it off of 2. We'll watch see if he tries it one more time. He's going to enter it high, and he's trying to arc the exit. But watch how loose he's going to get on the exit of 2 right here. Watch this. See how it's starting to come out. He's got a counter steer, and you light that right rear tire up, and boy, it does not like that. After a while, you keep doing it, it's going to eventually make it where even if you do get the run, you can't get to the inside. The rear tire just won't grip up off the corner. So it's tough, man. He's trying to find any way to get around these drivers, but Richmond is definitely drive it down to the bottom, roll the center, try to protect those right side tires. And but yeah, man, it's so tough to ride behind somebody. Tracy trying to find that little bit of extra, but you can see he's getting a little bit loose. Jesse Whittington starting to reel these guys back in. They had kind of pulled away. You can see Whittington drive really deep into that corner. A little bit different line. You see Tracy Passons get a little bit loose, a little shimmy out of that turn 2. So he is definitely trying to put the pressure on that right rear to get around the 58. It's just not working at the moment. So I hope everybody's having a good Thursday night. I know I am. Been enjoying the new college football game. Started a little old dynasty and started as offensive coordinator at Mississippi State. Had a good season. Got snubbed out of the playoffs, but got a job offer for Tennessee, and I said, well, that doesn't sound very good. I went and looked at the roster, and the players were unbelievably fast. But you know what? I got to try this out. So doing a season with the Vols. They were 4-8 last season. Able to get up here and try to turn them around. Still single file here. Everybody trying to find maybe a little bit of space. Second through fifth is really where everything's at the moment. Kinder was pulled out to about 9/10 of the second. We got just 9 laps to go in this stage. This is all the points paying positions right here. Playoff points going to be pretty important for the playoffs once everything is reset. Jesse Whittington actually get really loose off of turn 2. Turn 2 has been the scariest corner for these guys trying to carry that speed. You see the 58 of Jonathan Cofield get loose off of 4. Same type of deal. This is a great opportunity for Tracy Passons if he can hold. It enters in a little bit too high. He's going to try to get a great run here. Cofield going to give him the outside, and that's exactly what Tracy Passons needs. Waited on a mistake, stayed in it. Now he's got a great opportunity. He doesn't need to push it too hard. He's got the preferred line. Just get the grip off the corner and hang around till turn 2, and he should have that spot. He's actually got it before they even get to turn 1. So Tracy Passons moves up a spot. 9-time winner Jonathan Cofield falling back here as Jesse Whittington as Cofield squeezes him up into the wall, and Whittington has a hard hit. So I think he's going to have some damage there. That was pretty tough. Jesse this time says, you know what, I'm going to dive it down to the inside. These guys teammates in the Sunoco Cup Series, the now defunct Sunoco Cup Series. So they're racing hard here at Apex, putting each other in the wall, diving down to the inside. But Cofield going the wrong way at the end of this run. He definitely put some damage on those tires, it seems, and starting to struggle here at the end of this stage. But Garrett Kinder is still out front, just 4 laps to go in this stage, and then we will 4 tires and fuel, get them back out there and try to go green all the way to the end. So far, it's looking like this is going to be one of those races that kind of scoots on by, which we love. We love that. I mean, I got college football to play, y'all. I mean, we got to go. Got to get this race over with. Well, your biggest mover of the race is still Matt Rogers. He's running back in 8th. He started in 10th. Everybody else is kind of just stayed put, other than Jonathan Cofield has now dropped a couple of spots. Final lap of the stage. Garrett Kinder has got this thing all wrapped up. Might have a battle for second, but I don't think Tracy Passons is going to be able to make that move, come off the corner. And Garrett Kinder going to take stage number 1 here at Richmond. Caution flag should come out short. Still waiting, and there it is, finally. Caution flag comes out. Garrett Kinder takes the top spot. Costa, Passons, Whittington, and Cofield your top 5. Holcroft in 6th. Belts in 7th. Matt Rogers in 8th. Alan Smith in 9th. Josh Lokovitz in 10th. And Tony Edgerton round out your field for the stage number 1 pit stops. We saw how important it was to be out front for the 13. Got to be thinking about that when you come down here to take those 4 tires. Get in your box. Don't slide through it. Don't spin the tires on the exit. Try to get out of there and maintain that lead. I don't think we'll see any 2-tire stops. I think with this weather, it could be possible that might work. I just think you roll the center too much in Richmond for the right side only to be effective. I think Anytime you roll the center like you do here, it's just not a great idea to do that. So no 2-tire stops. Garrett Kinder has a lightning fast stop, 12.8 in the box. Everybody else in the 14. So I don't know. Did he take? Let's go back and look. Kinder Farm and Ranch wreckage rewind. Even though we're not looking at a wreck, he does take 4 tires to the left side up right there. He just had a pretty slick stop. So good for the 13 and his crew. Knocked it out of the park. Go around a couple more times. You can start to see the sunset here is going to get dark. Lights are going to come on, and we're going to be night racing here at Richmond. Getting ready to go green. Garrett Kinder with the lead. He had to take the lead away from Kostick on the start. We'll see if Kostick can return the favor. Garrett can get out ahead. Start to set sail like he did the first run. Next car pulls off. Stage number 2 underway. Just a little over 100 laps to go. Great jump there for Garrett Kinder, the control truck. He looks like he's going to be able to get away side by side for second place. As Tracy Bassett's going to slide up just a little bit, trying to get the run off the corner, but Kostick going to be able to hold him off as they go down the backstretch. I've been thinking about those cold tires. Josh Lokovitz, he forgot what happened last time. Drives down in the corner and gets loose again. This time does not spin it out. We go back to this battle for second. Tracy Passon's trying to get around that 4, but you see the power of the outside here at Richmond. Tires getting up to 10th. It's going to be tough for Tracy to make this pass if Kostick continues to push like he is, and going to defend for that position. I think that outside line will eventually win out. We'll see. They're going to have to put some tire warmers on that 79 pit crew. They come back down and take 4 tires. So Michael Kostick takes second place back over, and so now we are pretty much mirroring exactly where we were at the end of stage 1, as both of them kind of get a little bit loose there as Kostick passes, putting the power down off of 2. Turn 2 seems to be a problem area for a lot of folks, but great place. If everybody's having problems there, it's a great place to try to pick up speed. Tracy looks a little racy here. You see him being aggressive again on the entry of 1. Watch as he goes up the track. He's going to try to dive off of turn 2. Enters in a little bit higher. Leans on that right rear. Pushes the car down off of 2. Gets a great run. You see right there, couldn't put the power down and loses all that he gains by doing that. And it's all driver preference. You know, it's me in the booth. I'm looking at it and I'm going, I wouldn't do that. My preference at tracks like Richmond, Wilkesboro, and others is to drive point my vehicle straight down to the bottom, get right there on that yellow line, and then gas it up and come off low. But some folks are very successful at making that arc on exit. You can make it stick. It can be really, really good, but, man, it's such a high-risk, high-reward move. You can see Tracy lighting them up off the corner. Kostick being getting a little bit closer to Garrett this time. They were the first 15, 20 laps or so, Kostick was maybe a little bit faster than Garrett, but just could not find a way around him and started to fall back at the end of that stage. But with that under 100 laps to go, these laps will click off very quickly. What is 22.5 times 100? That's how many seconds divided by 60, and that's how long this race is going to be if we stay green. So. Still no change up front. Just so difficult to pass here. Got a fixed setup. And honestly, I really think 75% fuel probably also a bit negative just because it makes the truck tighter because you lose weight on the rear. Makes you tighter in the middle of the corner and you're just not able to get the gas down, try to make a run on the corner. It just makes it so much more difficult not make that outside line just a little bit stronger. So I think if they had 100% fuel load, the trucks would get a little bit looser. You would be able to rotate the middle better. But this is what they got. Everybody's got the same thing. So in this type of racing, getting out front early is the big ticket. Garrett Kinder was able to do that and has led every single lap so far. So going to be one of those races where track position is important. We already saw one pass by Tracy Passons in Whittington just off of a mistake. So not going to be able to make mistakes up here in the top 5. You can end up losing a couple spots. So Kostick, how hard do you push? Try to get around the 13 and maybe end up forcing him into a mistake, but also yourself, and end up losing a spot in racing. So it's a tough deal right now. You're not able to pull away. It takes about another 20 laps for that to come in. I'm not really quite sure what the fuel run is here tonight. I don't think they can make it all the way to the end, but they might. Fuel consumption is really not that high at tracks like this, under a mile. And so you're able to run quite a few laps before you have to come down pit road. So at 100% fuel, I think they can probably make it no problem. But we'll see what they decide to do here. Definitely not going to pit for tires. But if you can make it on fuel, you definitely want to do that. You don't want to try anything crazy, that's for sure. But Kostick starting to get a little close here to Kinder. We'll see if he can try to make a move. Here, picking up the throttle a little bit earlier. You can see exactly why that's hard to do as he gets completely loose and opens up the door, and Tracy Passon's gonna jump. Says I gotta take every opportunity I've got. Looks down to the inside at 1 and 2, just can't make it stick there on the bottom. That outside line just too strong when you're side by side. So Passons will stay in third. That little side-by-side brought Whittington and Cofield a little bit closer. But just for a brief moment, we almost had some racing. Back through the field, Matt Rogers had moved up quite a few spots. I don't know if he lost some spots on a restart or got some damage, it looks like, on the right front of that car or truck. So it may have made some contact with the wall. But yeah, he had moved up a couple spots, but now falling back to 10th. That's where he started. Got a nice battle back here between Josh Lokovitz, who's had just a rough go at it at the start of each run. And now looking to the inside of Alan Smith. Alan going to take a wide berth into 3 and 4. You could do that. You see the run that he gets off the corner. I don't think you have to enter in that high. You can enter in right in the middle, and you can see the 79 going to try to, oh my goodness, and get close off the corner. Lokovitz with a great move to try to get to the outside. Off of 2 is a scary place to do that, and he's going to drive in on the outside. These guys just having a blast back here. They're not trying to be as efficient, perfect. They're trying to get up here and just race each other hard, try some cool things. You see Lokovitz all the way at the top. That gives you a nice run off the corner. Look how fast he comes off the corner and gives him an opportunity to try to make a pass. It will burn the heck out of your tires, though. Your tires will be just flat junk after a few laps. But, I mean, at this point, Lokovic's just having a good time. He's going to get to the outside of Allen. Allen's going to give him that spot. It looks like Lokovic's going to continue to work the outside. See if Allen jumps in front of him. Oh, he's gonna loop it. Oh, great save there by Allen as he almost looped it trying to keep it off Lokovic. And he's gonna lose spot to Holcroft. But great save there for Allen Smith. It was a close call. Battle for fourth, picking up just a little bit. You know, we kind of talked a little bit about Cofield going for 10 wins in a season. He's still got plenty of opportunities to do so, but he's moving to a new location, racing on his dad's rig just to have fun, keep his championship hopes alive. He's doing a good job of that tonight, but you can definitely tell he is not racing at Jonathan Cofield's normal pace. He actually said, now I've tried the VR headset before, and you know, it's definitely the coolest experience you can have on iRacer or any racing game in general. Having a VR headset just gives you depth perception. I mean, I pulled out of pit road one time at a track, and the cones were the most baffling thing. I looked at it and said, man, it looks like a real daggum cone just sitting out there. And so it's really cool. Definitely gives you a really cool feel in the car. But I get motion sickness, and so I can't use it. See Jesse Whittington going to get in the wall. That's going to open the door here for Cofield. See if Jesse able to get it back together enough to hold on to that spot. But they're side by side. Cofield gets a great run through 3 and 4. But look at the run off the top side. Just impossible to make these passes. Cofield trying to run it up, use that outside line, but looks like Whittington going to be able to hold on to that spot. But yeah, I get motion sickness with VR. Just would be completely wasted after a race. I mean, just awful. And Cofield normally runs in a VR, running on a single monitor tonight. So he loses some peripheral vision on his left and right sides. And also, he said it makes him motion sickness to race on a monitor. So dealing with some stuff here, you would think, wow, what does that matter? It just get in here and race. It's the same. Boy, it's not. If you've ever raced in VR, if you've ever had triple monitors, trying to go down to a single monitor, trying to change what you normally do, it definitely affects you. So we're seeing those effects right now as he's just trying to hang on to this top 5 spot. Garrett Kinder starting to stretch that lead out just ever so slightly, about a tenth faster that time by. So Kinder came with a plan, and that Kinder Farm Ranch 13 machine is scooped at the moment. We saw him start to pull away at the end of stage number 1, and they're getting close to that 40-lap range now where he started to really gap Michael Kostick, and that seems to be the case here as he is continuing to pull away. That time Kostick about 5 thousandths of a second faster, so almost dead even. The whole front 4 is running 23 flat, so they're running almost the exact same lap. And that it sort of simulates what the next gen car is, where everybody talks about, hey, I'm running the same lap time as everybody else, and that's what Richmond in the trucks kind of simulates. This track just doesn't have a whole lot of variant. Drive down to the corner, you let it roll for a while. It's got enough banking to allow for that. Then you get back on the throttle. Very little time to have variance and deviations and everything like that. So sounds like I'm taking the trigonometry class. Sine and cosine. If you divide that by the TI 83 calculator with Duck Hunt, you get Garrett Kinder in the lead. What the answer is. Just over halfway now, starting to click them off. Pit stop is sort of the big question now. Will they have to come down and make a stop? I don't know that. It's going to be close. I would imagine they're going to have to come down and take at least one stop here in stage number 2. So going to be important to get down on pit road. Hope you practice, because I'll tell you what, we'll go on board with Garrett Kendra as he enters into turn 3, and then we'll see what it looks like to try to get down on this pit road. It is not easy. So if you didn't practice this, find yourself in a big trouble. Let's go on board with Garrett Kendra. You tell me when you would brake to go down pit road. This is his look out his front windshield. At what point would you brake? There you go. There's the entrance to pit road. So you got to get down there quick, and you better hope that nobody's right on your tailpipe. You might end up doing a little 360 and driving away, having to come back down again. So got to be thinking about that. Normally what I do is I kind of, when I get ready to pit, I think about it and take a couple laps before I'm ready to come down pit road and try to visualize where I'm going to get on the brakes and start to slow down. And then once the time comes to come down pit road, I'm prepared for it. But even then, if you haven't practiced pit road entry, some of these tracks are very tricky. And, you know, at Richmond, you could be caught with some pretty low brake bias trying to help the truck turn into the corner. Not as bad as some other tracks, but you got your brake bias down, you come down here and lock them up, end up sideways. So a lot to think about, a lot to lose here on this pit stops. Garrett Kendra, 0.7 of a second now is his gap over Michael Kosick. And it's starting to pull away. You can see that gap getting bigger and bigger almost every single lap as the other four kind of staying close to each other within a half a second. And, you know, something that failed to mention is aero, obviously playing a big factor in how these trucks handle. It's not, I don't think it's as much as normal, but Richmond carries a lot of speed. I mean, they're 90, 100 miles an hour in the middle of those corners. That's pretty big for pretty quick for a short track. So you're carrying a lot of speed. Downforce will play a factor, but not too much. Got a battle. Might have a pass up here up front. Cofield looking down to the inside. Whittington kind of drive down to the bottom to defend against it. We'll see if Cofield can make this move. I'll be interested to see if anybody can make a clean pass on the bottom without somebody making a mistake. Here you're going to drive down to the bottom. Whittington going to drive way up the track. Going to get the run off the corner, and you see Cofield not able to get the power down and not going to be able to hold on to that spot. Whittington actually going to give him a wide berth on the entrance to turn 1, but then turn down the track and drive off of 2 and still has that spot. So still nobody able to make a pass on the bottom. I think Whittington just wants to have a little bit of fun here. There's nothing to do. He's got an opportunity to do some racing, so he said, I'm going to get up here and drive up here against the wall. And you don't really need to do that. Right there is a good spot if you're on the high side. I think that's the line you want to take, but I think at this point, just not able to pass. So there's nowhere for him to go. And might as well have a little bit of fun with it if you can. Matt Rogers might have gone off track. I don't know what happened, but it looks like he's still going. Go back to the 8th and 9th position. Alan Smith still trying to keep tabs to Josh Lokovitz. Lokovitz got ahead of him as Allen almost lost it. And has caught back up to the 79. These guys have been struggling on exit of the corner. Obviously, trying to get that power down is such a tough thing to do. That's definitely a skill you have to work on, which is you have to give it just the right amount of throttle, the right amount of counter steer to keep all 4 tires with maximum grip off these corners. And it is a line, a very, very thin line you have to toe. And these guys have been struggling with it, but see them working those outside lines. And that will help alleviate that problem. You drive in on the high side. See Allen in 1 and 2 driving right down to the bottom. Because it kind of flattens out there. You see that banking. And right as it flattens out on exit, that's when that truck gets loose and You kind of help that by entering or exiting off too a little bit higher, but the trade-off is just a little bit too much, I think. You can see he is spinning the tires, the rear tires, down the whole straightaway. Watch this right here. That counter steer, that back end just gets a little bit light, hard to hang on to. Back up here, Whittington getting close, trying that outside, trying something, trying to make something work here. Been able to get some runs on the outside. I think for Tracy, you just can't let him get to the outside. That's the big thing. And oh man, they almost make contact as Whittington drives deep into the corner. He's trying to use that run off the outside to make a pass. He's going to get there, but Tracy's going to cover it. That's what he needs to do. He cannot let Whittington get that run off the outside. That is pretty much, you're going to get that position. You see Whittington not able to get 2, 3, and 4. Going to get a little bit loose there. Gets into the wall, but watch what he does here. He's going in, trying to roll the center, and kind of almost brake checking himself to get the best run off the corner. Oh, we got, looks like Michael Costa coming down pit road here. So there's the answer to my question. Can they make it on fuel? They definitely cannot. So Costa going to come down, try the undercut, use those fresh tires to an advantage. About a second on 53 lap old tires, a second faster on new tires. So I would imagine we'll see Garrett Kinder come down pit road pretty quickly. I mean, it's one of two things. You either come in now or you come in at the end of the fuel run. You push it as long as you can go to make sure you have enough tire to make those passes. And that's another strategy you can employ here for sure, which is run long. And that way, when you do catch these guys, they're not going to have the tires to hold you off. But it looks like Michael Costa comes down pit road. He's going to go a lap down. Going to lose a lap by pitting here. But he'll be making it up for sure. And if we stay green, which is likely, I think he'll come out with the lead. Whittington still trying that outside line, and it's honestly been doing a great job at it. But you see, it's just not going anywhere. We're at the end of the run, so it doesn't matter if he burns his tires up. He's just trying anything and everything to make a pass, to have a little bit of fun. And you see, he's able to make up a lot of ground on the exits, but Tracy just pulls up and blocks him, and that's what he's got to do. You can't give the guy the outside when he's trying to use it to his advantage. You got to pull up in front of him, make him go down to the inside, and that's exactly what Tracy Passes wants. Hey, go down to the inside. Whittington trying to try to get it to the outside, can't do it. And you can see he's got the run he needs to go down to the inside, but he knows better. He knows that it's not going to work. So just tough deal here. We're going forward with Jesse and kind of watch what this looks like. You see the run that he's getting. He's trying to make up some time here on the entry of one. That time he got into the wall. He's been pulling up to the right rear quarter of passes. Yeah, that's what Jesse needs to do right there, is go to the outside. But I think Tracy coming down pit road, there he is. Gives up the goods, comes down pit road, and your leader, Garrett Kinder, also coming down for their final stop. So just 50 laps to go, and your leader's coming down pit road. We'll see where Caustic cycles around. I mean, he's put down the fastest laps he's put down all race long, actually. Yeah, I think he laid down the fastest lap. Nope, Cofield has the fastest at the moment. But he is laying down some very fast lap times, trying to make up the difference. I do think that Caustic will come out with the lead once it's all said and done. Now, his tires will be 5 laps older, but we'll see just how big of a deal that is. And you can see here, Caustic just went by Garrett Kinder, and he's going to have a 3, 4, 4.5, 5-second advantage over Garrett Kinder with less than 50 laps to go. So I think Caustic made a pretty good move there, and we'll see how much it pays off. Whittington stays out on track, though. They have been on track for 61 laps, so obviously going to run long, try to get those fresh tires and use that on the end of the run, and see if he can make something happen. And you can see just struggling to make that outside work right now. The tires obviously on fire. Jonathan Cofield comes down pit road. Still waiting on Jesse Whittington, and I know that now that Cofield has come down pit road, nobody else really worried about it. Going a lap down. Everybody, the whole field's a lap down now, so caution coming out would be really good for Jesse Whittington, and that's exactly, I think, what he's hoping for. Be pretty cool to get a caution. Of course, a lot of these guys would just take the waiver round, so they would get back on lead lap, but he would be able to go down, get 4 tires, and fuel, be on the best tire strategy, have the clean air, and if the caution does come out, he'll be in a great spot. But you can see he's really struggling now. At the moment, you can see the difference in tires, and Cossack is going to go around him very soon. But the good thing about what Whittington's doing, if he can stay out as long as possible, when he comes down to pit road and gets those tires, he can race. He can run just 110% to the end of the race, and he'll chip fall wherever they fall. But for Cossack, he has to be careful a little bit. Garrett has already gained about a second on him as he's dealing with this traffic. Cossack can't really push very hard, or he's in danger of losing the lead to Garrett Kinder, who's got fresher tires. But when Whittington comes out of pit road, he can just haul the mail. Cossack able to unlap himself, and now Garrett Kinder looks to do the same thing. He's about half a straightaway away from Jesse Whittington, who's still yet to come down pit road. And Garrett Kinder has set the fastest lap of the race here on this run, so he's not saving tires, that's for sure. He knows he's got to get up there and try to get Cossack. First order business, get around this 94 machine who's still out on track. That's your leader right there. Is to go down to the inside and not take over, but get back on lead lap. So Garrett Kinder now will be in a good position. Now with these guys passing Jesse Whittington, that strategy is not as good, because these two will be able to come down pit road with him. Jesse been out there for about 70 laps now on this tank of fuel and set of tires. So right now, Jesse Whittington running 23.2s. And these guys running in the low 22s. Garrett Kinder has gotten the lead down to, or the gap down to 2.1 seconds. Obviously pushing very hard. Will he have enough tires to get around the 4? We'll find out. Jesse Whittington now gives up the lead. He's going to come down pit road to make his stop, and he can go full bore from here on out. That will cycle Michael Cossack back out to the lead. Gap now down under 2 seconds between the leader and Garrett Kinder. Tire fall off about half a second from those fresh tires, and honestly, Garrett is starting to equalize out compared to Butler. A little bit of stuttering out of my production PC. I hope nothing's going wrong. I don't know what's going on, but we'll stay here. Got all the action right here on V-Speed. Well, it looks like Mark Cossack made the right move coming down pit road when he did. It seems like early on, the first few laps or so, the tires are really, really good, able to run low 22s, and then it quickly, about 10 laps or so, drops off almost half a second. So at this moment, it's kind of equalized between Garrett and Kostick. Kostick does have about 6 lap older tires. There will be a point where he will drop off a little bit more, starting to drop off towards that 23-second mark. So Kinder's going to have to stay in it, be pushing as hard as he can. So when that drop off does happen, he can take advantage of it and get ever so slightly closer. But I think Kostick's in really good shape here. By the time that Kinder might get to him, he's got the lead, and it's going to be tough for Kinder to make that pass. ATVO crashed on me, so we'll give me a second, we'll get that back up. We are back, and 121 out of 150, so just a little under 30 laps to go in this race. And Garrett Kinder has closed the gap to under a second. So we're talking about that plateau when Kostick would fall off a little bit to allow Garrett Kinder to take use of those 6 lap fresher tires. That's starting to happen now. And I think Garrett Kinder will get a little bit closer, then it'll plateau off again. He's really going to have to be aggressive to get to that core machine. But once he gets to him, I'm just curious about if he's able to do anything with it. We've already seen it's pretty dang impossible to pass. So I don't know if he can actually make the pass. If somebody can do it, it's Garrett Kinder. But Kostick is such a solid driver that he knows how to defend the way he needs to. So it's going to be a great battle here, I think, as you see Cofield back in the background going around. Looks like maybe Tracy Parsons are trying to get around him. Down to the inside. Parsons, though, hold them off on that outside line. And Cofield able to make the pass. Parsons is going to try to get a run off the top side, but I think Cofield now has the preferred line. I think Tracy's trying to get that crossover, but I think that just lost him that position. So Cofield starting to get used to everything now, and they are just about 2.5 seconds back from Garrett Kinder. So this thing is not over even for Jonathan Cofield, but Garrett Kinder has now gotten within half a second of Michael Kostick with 25 laps to go. Can he do anything with him? That's the big question now. He's able to catch him. Now can he get around him? Look how much he's feeling that thing. That steering wheel is all the way over to 3 o'clock coming off of turn 2. Still able to lay some lap times down. He is burning those rear tires, trying to catch Michael Kostick. Gets really loose there. Not able to get the power down. He's gotten within about 4/10 a couple times, but it's where that arrow starts to play a little factor, a little bit of dirty air. It's not much, but it's definitely enough to affect the handling. Kinder now under 3/10. He was able to close that gap just a little bit. Oh, and he's going to get loose here. Oh, he's trying to spin out. He saves it, but he's going to lose all that time. He is trying everything he can to get around Caustic, and I don't know if he's going to be able to gain that back. Those rear tires are going to be so hot that he's going to have to let him cool off for about 5 laps before he can try to push it again. But you can see how hard he was driving to get back to that number 4 machine. And I think, I hate to call it here, but I think that might be all she wrote. But I hate to give up on Kinder. I've seen him do some wild stuff, but man, he needed every bit of that time to get through Caustic and then to try to make the pass, which are two completely different things. And then that little slip there, I just don't think he's going to be able to gain that back and then still be able to put in the time. But man, don't look out now. Cofield is coming. Yeah, trying to win 10 races in a season. He's gotten it all figured out. And here at the end, he's the fastest car on the track by quite a bit. So Garrett Kinder was able to gain a good amount of time on Caustic there. Caustic had about 2/10 slower. So Garrett might get back to it, but Cofield might catch both of them. I think we're going to have a 3-way battle for this lead. I spoke too soon. I still worry that Garrett, oh man, he had a great lap the lap before. This last time just could not get the power down and ran about the same lap time as Caustic. He's closing in still, but now he's going to have a mirror full of Jonathan Cofield, and now that's going to change the game as we got just a little over 15 laps to go. Cofield's coming, though. He is faster than both of them by a mile. Honestly, I mean, it's just incredible how much faster he is than these two. I mean, he is 3/10 faster than both these guys. So he's going to get to Kinder for sure. Going to get around him. Seems like he's pretty quick. If he wants to win this race, he's going to have to get by him fast. He's going to need all 15 laps to get to his Bandits teammate, Michael Caustic. But I think he's got enough time to get second. But I don't know if he's got enough time to get first. We're going to find out, though. That time by Garrett Kinder, about 1/10 faster than Michael Caustic, but Cofield about 2/10 faster than Caustic. So they are both catching him at a little bit different rates. Thinking for Cofield, you got to take the shot when you have it. It's looking down to the inside, and we'll see how hard Garrett Kinder is going to fight. And I don't know if it's going to be enough. Cofield's got a nice run through 3 and 4. He's going to have a great position for 1 and 2. And he takes that spot. Garrett Kinder going to try to cut down, but I mean, the rear tires have not been there this whole last little run. I can't imagine they're going to be there now. So Cofield up to second. And that might be the best thing that happened for Garrett Kinder, for him to get by and to go up there and try to battle for the lead. They get side by side. Garrett Kinder can gain all that time right back up. So he can hope that Cofield get up there and get side by side with Caustic and battle, and then he'll be able to stay with them. But right now, Cofield going for 10 wins on the season, and we got 12 laps to go. Ten laps to go. Cofield within 4/10 of a second. Garrett Kinder struggling to keep up here. Whittington has gotten up to 5th, and he is closing in on Tracy Patson, so he might be able to take 4th position. Cofield, 10th faster. That time by is definitely going to be there. He is there. Now can he make the pass? Can Caustic? With those older tires, he came down pit road before anybody else. The much older tires, can he make it work? You see him holding that top side. He's going to try to maintain it. and make Cofield go around the inside. That's what he's got to do, defend that outside line. See, he opens the door. So far, so good for Costic. He's got to do it for 8 long laps. Right on the back bumper, Cofield going to dive it down to the inside. We'll see. Turn 2 has not been a great turn, but Costic actually gets a little bit loose, but the run is good enough. But here, I think this is where I think the best shot for Cofield. Can he make the run off the bottom? Costic gets a little bit loose. They're side by side, door to door. Can Costic hang on to it? Cofield's now out about half a truck length ahead. Costic putting all that he's got into it. They're side by side. That's going to pull everybody along with them. They continue to battle. And 3rd, 4th, and 5th have kind of started to heat up as well. They can smell blood as Costic, on his last leg, trying to hang on to that right rear quarter. Going to drive down to the inside, but Cofield going to have the better run. Middle exit. Leaves the door open, but he's clear. He's clear for the lead with 5 laps to go. Costigo going to drive down, try to get to the outside. That's a last-ditch effort. Cofield's been clear for about a lap, so I don't know what he's doing, but maybe just trying to make it a little bit interesting. But, man, there we go. Just 5 laps to go. Cofield been running in the 5th position all night long. Racing on a different computer than he's used to, a total different setup, able to work it out. And with just 4 laps to go, he's got win number 10 out his windshield. Just got to complete 4 laps as he starts to pull away from Michael Costa. Over half a second here. Whittington was able to get 3rd place as Garrett Kidder obviously has pushed that truck. Oh, caution's out. Caution out. Anthony Anderson got a wreck down on the front stretch, and, well, that changes everything. Caution comes out. Just a few laps to go. 2 green-white checkers here. Anthony's still sitting on track. And we'll take a look here on the Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind and see what happened. We see the very end of it there, but man, with just 3 laps to go down the front stretch. On board, you can see he's really just overdriving the entry of the corner, coming off the corner. And he gets kind of in a loop there. It looks like maybe, yeah, I mean, for the uninitiated, you might think, did he just spin out on purpose? No, he did not. And I'll show you exactly why. You can look at him on the backstretch. The rear tires are just spinning on him. Let's go back a little bit further. Good grief. He's trying to get the power down. You can see he spins the tires, and now he's just trying to hang on to it. He really needs to lift off the gas to allow the rear tires to pick up. But coming off this corner right here, same issue. He's just trying to keep the power down, but you can't do that. Once the tires start to slide like that, they get overheated. You really just have to start lifting off the throttle, and boy, that changes a lot. Go back to live as pit stops are underway. And we'll see who wins a battle off pit road. Jesse Whittington with a 2-tire call. I like it. Garrett Kinder also with 2 tires. Gonna make this very, very interesting. So 2 tires locks out the front row, and Cofield, Michael Costick with those 4 tires are going to be rolling off in 3rd and 4th. So very, very interesting how this is going to play out. 2 green-white checkers for this race. I can't believe I can't believe how that race has gone. And then right at the very end, single spin caution. and has turned this race on its head, and this is going to be interesting. I still, if I'm Cofield, I feel pretty good. They ran a long time on those left sides. I think you get past turn 1, you really got to send it in turn 3 if they struggle. But I think even with these 2 tires, I think both the 13 and 94 will be pushing it so hard coming off the 2. At least one of them is going to get loose, and he'll be able to grab that spot, him or Caustic, with those 4 tires. And I think going down in 3 and 4 of those 4 tires will show what they got. And especially once they take the white flag, they'll come alive. But still have to wait on those 4 tires to heat up. And a green-white checker is just not enough. And we saw what happened with whole tires with Josh Lokovitz. And so there's a lot to think about here if you're Cofield trying to get that 10th win. If you're Jesse Whittington, you've got to get a great jump here. You got to pick a lane that you think you want to be in. You got to get the run. Looks like he's going to pick the top. And you got to go, get gone, and then make sure when you go down into 1 and 2 and you get off of 2 that you lay the power down and you don't miss it. If he doesn't miss turn 2, Jesse Whittington is going to win this race, assuming we don't have another caution. And that's the other thing. We do have an opportunity for another green-white checker. So Whittington winning that battle off pit road gives him a great opportunity. We'll just see how big a deal those 4 tires are going to make. Those fresh left sides could make a pretty big difference here. So it just all depends on how that's going to play out. But Whittington, pretty straightforward. Get a great jump, get ahead of Kinder going into 1, and then get a great drive off of 2. Do that. I think Whittington's got a great opportunity to win this race. But lights are out on the pace car. Everybody going around the wave arounds. But we have got the battle for the race win here. Who is going to get it? Whittington, Garrett Kinder. Or will Michael Caustic, Jonathan Cofield take those 4 tires to the front? We're going to find out right here. Whittington on the outside into the Geico restart zone. Oh, green flag is out. Kinder gets a little bit loose as he spins the tires. Caustic going to get to the outside. That might be exactly what Caustic needs. Down into 1 and 2. Caustic rolling the outside. Jesse gets a great run. Oh, and Cofield spins it down to the inside of the track. He's out. Garrett Kinder trying to drive it into the corner. Caustic trying to get past him. White flag is out. Does Caustic have enough with those 4 tires? Can he make it work? What's he do? Look at Josh Lokovitz trying to make it work. Oh, they get loose. Caustic gets loose, trying to lay the power down. Not going to be enough. As Josh Lokovitz working that outside, but coming off a turn 4 2-tire strategy, Jesse Whittington takes the win. 3-wide finish for 3rd, and Tracy Passons takes 3rd right at the end. Holy cow. Take a look at that. We were kind of talking about 1st and 2nd. Watch this. Tracy Passons. You see Lokovitz working that outside with those 4 tires, trying to make up some ground. And those 2 tires of Garrett Kinder just did not work. They're going to split Garrett right here. Watch this. Coming to the start-finish line. 3 wide. And I show Tracy Passons on my list. We'll go look on iRacing, and it looks like Tracy Passons did win. They crossed the line. Tracy wins by 1/100th of a second. Look at that right there. Just barely eked out the 13. Incredible, incredible finish. Whittington is your winner, and he is doing burnouts here down on front stretch. We'll get everybody in here and talk to them. We'll get you out of here. Pretty dadgum good race. It looks like we'll actually start with Tracy Passons, so we'll work our way backwards. Let's pull Tracy up in the booth. Tracy, this is Eddie. You got a copy?
What's going on, brother Eddie?
Well, man, that was a fun race. I mean, hard to pass the first part, and but a cool finish. 3 wide there for 3rd place, and you barely eked out Garrett Kinder by 1/100th of a second. How about that?
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You seemed like you had some you had those 4 tires there at the end, but you kind of hung around that third, fourth spot all race long. Seemed like it was really hard to pass out there. Talk to me about your race.
It was. The track would change a little bit. If you get a little wear on your tires, you couldn't drive it like you did at the very beginning. It just seemed like it just changed a lot during the race, and it was kind of like baby in the throttle. You was going to come out and hit the wall every time. It really a tough track tonight.
Well, the ending there kind of threw everybody for a loop, and had to come down and decide if you want to take 4 tires or 2 tires. You elected to take 4. What was the thought process in taking 4 over 2?
Hey, we all coming in together. We're going out, and I wanted the best shot I could have to win, or get up front.
Well, it seemed like it worked out. You're able to get 3rd place. Congratulations, Tracy. That was
Thank you,
fun to
Eddie.
watch. Great little battle there at the end, and man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank?
You for broadcasting, and all my teammates and all the sponsors that help put this show on, and every driver that comes out and races and participate, because we couldn't do it without you and them and the sponsors.
All right, there you have it. Tracy Passons. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to get 2nd place in here, Michael Kosick, and we'll talk to him about his race. Michael, man, pretty good race, man. Started up front. You lost the lead early trying to keep up with Garrett. And, man, you come down early, and you had to feel like you had the right call there. But talk to me about that first part of the race. It seemed like it was really difficult early to make passes.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I didn't get the pole because it's just too difficult to put the power down on the inside line on corner exit. But yeah, I was just kind of stuck behind him, and I figure if I could undercut him later on in the race, just kind of mimic what he did to me to kind of hold him back, and it was working. And then Cofield came up with his cheat codes and got around me.
Yeah, well, he got around you, and it just didn't seem like you tried. I mean, you had a great effort to try to keep him behind you, but then the caution comes out, and now you already know with the green white checker, 2 tires, 4 tires, somebody's going to make the call. You elected to take 4. Do you regret that at all, or were you happy that that was a call you were going to make no matter what?
I thought about 2, but I undercut everybody so bad I didn't know if 2 was going to be a good call for me. So figure if I could at least start on the 2nd row, try to send it in there and get around them. But yeah, me and Kendra got together a little bit on the backstretch on that the first lap on the restart. I don't know whether I went down or he went up, but got a little squirrely, and then I just got too aggressive on the throttle on exit off 2 on that last lap. But yeah, it was just tough to pass and frustrating.
Yeah, Richmond seems to be kind of you put in this weird box, but pretty fun race there at the end. Y'all were battling out. Garrett was running you down just a little bit, then Cofield was running him down. It was a pretty nice little battle there. But 2nd place seems to be where you're going to be tonight, just no matter what, because
Yes.
you had a couple people pass you. You 2nd seems to be where you're going to be. So, but still a good finish. You had a great number 4 machine. And as always, man, who you got to thank?
Thank Jimmy at Apex Sim Racing, American Grid Apparel, Chuck Pegleg Felts, Low Cash Motorsports, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Poman Motorsports, Hewitt and V Speed for doing the broadcast, and all my teammates at Bandits.
All right, well, there you have it. Michael Costa comes home in 2nd place, and then the man of the hour, pulling out the strategy call, and Jesse Whittington brings home the victory for the 94 Focus Fuel. What are you, Chevrolet? Ford?
Yeah, Silverado.
There we go. All right. Praise God. Well, man, you led 19 laps of the race, and man, what a great call there at the end to take 2 tires. I mean, obviously a home run Hail Mary type of call, but man, it worked out great. You stayed out long on that first caution, or not the first caution, the first that green flag pit stop. You stayed out really long to have the better option towards the end, and you were making up a lot of spots. Y'all were catching pretty quickly. But coming down to the end there, is there a question in here? I'm not real sure. I'm just talking, it seems like. But man, congratulations. But I do want to know on that 2-tire call, is that, were you expecting to make that call? Were you worried about that, or do you feel pretty confident?
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you, I was just kind of rolling the dice. I knew I think the next closest on tires was Cofield, and I think he was only like 10 laps fresher than I was. So like everybody else in front of me was about 20 to 25, maybe even almost 30 laps more on their tires. So I knew if they took 2 tires, they were going to be done. But I only had, I think it was 32 laps of green flag, or maybe not even that much. I'm not exactly sure of the number, so I can't really speak on that. But I mean, I felt like I had fresh enough tires at the end to where I could make that call and hopefully get the tires kind of kick in. But man, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't mean to run that long on the first run, but I was having a blast running the wall and still making time, so I just stayed up there and was having some fun with it.
Heck yeah, I mean, it was so hard to pass. Might as well do something crazy and do something fun. Well, you're able to get the win tonight at Richmond, and kind of looking at this season, I mean, that's your 3rd win of the season, and somehow still not playoff eligible. That stinks. So we got to figure out a way to get a waiver in there to get NASCAR to give you a waiver or something, because 3 wins on the season, that's pretty impressive, and it's all come in the last 4 weeks. So man, congratulations on a pretty great season, 3rd win of the season, and you definitely earned it there with a great call at the end with those 2 tires. And man, who you got to thank?
Oh man, first and foremost, as always, I got to thank my wife, my kids. They're always supportive of me coming out here and doing this, and I can't thank them enough for just letting me come out. Or I shouldn't say letting me; they don't let me do it, but can't thank them enough for supporting me with everything. And of course, I got to thank Focus Fuel. They've been on the truck for all 3 wins this season. We got a brand new scheme out for tonight. It was supposed to be last week, but my internet was down. But I really enjoy this black and metallic red look. Bert's beat for getting me hooked up with them. I always have him on the hood right underneath Focus Fuel. Leshin, I got them on the tailgate. Luke Haley Music, I got him on the truck bed cover. Full Lock Racing, as always. Those guys, I have fun with them, and they push me to be better than the previous week every week. Of course, I got to thank Apex and the series admins and everything like that for putting this league on and letting us have some fun with it every Thursday night. And of course, you and V Speed. Thank you guys. I always enjoy going back and watching the show. I'm kind of excited to see if you saw a little bit of that running high and just try to have some fun with it. So, man, I appreciate you and everything you do for these guys, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Well, appreciate that. Congratulations, Jesse Whittington, on the win here tonight at Richmond. Man, great run to the end there, and great finish.
Thank you, man. You have a great night.
What am I talking about? I have no idea. I'm falling apart here at the end. It's been a pretty good race. I guess I'm just out of gas. But man, that's going to do it for us tonight. That was your Man Motorsports post-race interviews. We definitely appreciate all those guys for coming in and doing that. But that's going to be it for Richmond. That was an interesting race. I mean, kind of tough, through the middle part, but at the end got exciting, and man, Jesse took advantage of it and got the win. So we'll move on. But that will set the playoffs. Like I said before, I think everybody who has been racing is going to be in the playoffs, as participation has been relatively low. But now that the playoffs are going to kick off, it's going to change a lot, and we're going to be. It's going to tighten up the field. Those playoff points are going to matter, but we're going to see who is able to get the championship here in Apex. It's going to be a good one. So stick around. Just a few more weeks left to go. We got Milwaukee next week, which, man, it's okay. We'll get through Milwaukee. Then you got Bristol. Then you got Kansas. You got Talladega. You got Homestead. And for some who knows, I mean, God-forsaken reason, we got Martinsville. It's a cutoff race for the championship. Somebody is upset when they made this schedule. So No, it's going to be fun, and then we'll settle it September 5th, Phoenix 150 lap championship. We'll see who gets it. It's going to be Cofield. It's going to be somebody else. We'll find out. Y'all have a good night. Don't forget about the V-Speed Invitational. If that's something you're interested in, definitely check the link in your respective Discords and come on out and have a good time. But Brady Smith, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, we'll see y'all next week.